Well, hello, folks, and all the ships at sea. It's the 24th of June, 2025. Go up here and take a look at a little place that had an issue the last couple of days. It was just up on the news this morning. I was heading down this part of Portage anyway, and I thought we'd take a little look. Don't know about y'all, but I'm not too hepped on sushi. I like the California rolls and the Oregon rolls and little sushi pieces with no raw seafood. I do really love raw oysters on a half shell. I remove them from the shell and put them on my plate, and then use the horseradish and Tabasco on them. I will do that, but sushi I stay away from. Now, there's a place down here. It had moved from another location in town down here, and in this little strip mall, very nice upscale area down here, and for whatever reason they closed. Well, it's right between two other businesses. One, I think, is a restaurant, and a couple of days ago, they started smelling something really bad. I'm gonna go up here and talk about that in just a second. The smell was so bad, the businesses on either side had to close. Okay, we're about at the location. The sign is already down off the front of the building anyway. We will see where this leads us. Yep, there's the boutique right there. They still have a sign on their door, closed. Here's the cafe. They were closed as well. And I think, yep, she still is. Here's the place that had the issue right here. And next door, they're open. So yeah, they had to close 2 or 3 days, the businesses on either side, because of the smell, and lost thousands of dollars in business. The person that owned the little pokey store or poke shop was on TV on the phone, and she said that she apologized. She was sorry. She didn't know that the power was out and that and so forth. But the place was closed and the power was turned off, and the seafood in her coolers exploded, became hot, and literally they said exploded. And so they had to get in there and get that cleaned up. And but the proprietors of the other businesses right there are a little bit upset for their loss of business. Okay, that's one example right there, and I'm sure they're going to get that worked out. But I show that to you today, today, if I can breathe, bring back a little lesson. I personally talked years ago at a business meeting to this man and woman. They were in their 60s at the time. I was probably close to 40 years old myself. And they told me about investing in certain things and how their investment went. And she had come into some money through a death in the family of a couple of $1 million after taxes. And so they saved half of it and decided to invest the other half, a cool $1 million, into orange juice. Now, orange crops had been lousy, and it was looking like another year or maybe 2 of the same thing. And so there was futures in this commodity. They went through a licensed broker, the whole thing, and they bought $1 million worth of frozen orange juice. And the people who had the facility, the storage facility, well, they didn't check them out too well, or whatever, how that went. A lot of trust involved, but they didn't pay their bills, and their power got shut off. Make a long story short, not only did those people lose $1 million worth of orange juice, but some other folks lost other perishables too that were in that building and in that storage facility. And so their moral to the story, and by the way, here's Raising Cane's being built right here on your right. New Raising Cane's going in right there. Yep. But they would teach us and gave us that lesson about go ahead and make your investments. If the power hadn't been shut off and they hadn't lost their orange juice, they would have just over doubled their money. Instead, they lost the whole thing because they didn't check out how firm the people were that owned the cold storage, the freezer storage place. If they just would have checked it out that they were late on their bills, they had problems in the past, things like that. But no, it was a big outfit, nice and clean, and that's where everybody else kept their stuff, so they did too. Check people out, check things out before you make a big, huge mistake like that. But the same thing back there with the Pokey. You know, she probably didn't know that they were going to turn off the power. But they did. And so everybody loses. And kind of in that case, a stinky way. I'd imagine $1 million worth of rotten orange juice would be something to behold as well. All right, geez, look where we're going again. See you in the next one.